Good day, what's up YouTube? Dan here. My mode of transportation, I'm actually here in the breezeway. Our studio's right there, using the door to block the wind, but we're headed to the Sask Influencers Conference. So, are you familiar with Justin and Greg? If you haven't heard of them, I'll link them below, and they're a little crazy, but amazing dudes.
Welcome to Jags! What up, Jags Nation? Good to be here! Justin and Greg coming at you. Facebook OG. Oh, baby. This one's for you. Hakeem Olajuwon, Gretzky, and the late Michael Jackson. Just a few of the MCs getting in on the action.
There's also a few other influencers there, so let's get running to downtown where, of course, already late. Cue some, I don't know if it's epic B-roll, but I'm gonna have a good time riding on in to downtown. So let's check it out. Rather VIP-ish parking. We're here at the Ramada. The one thing I don't understand about the city, but I actually completely get, it's very cycling friendly. So there's not much places to lock up your bike, but not many people bike here, and there's not as many pedestrians as you would think. But anyway, let's head into this panel. Ooh, I'll have some water. Oh, that is the worst. I mean, good effort that they have water, but that's the worst water setup. It looks cool. It's just not very effective.
Global clip, they show me 4 more 30-second ads because I love the ad. That's my, and no, our favorite button on all internet land is skip ad. And so it's interesting that influencers have become a thing because people are going, well, if people don't want to watch my ads, you know, and I don't know if you guys do this every time the ads come on the TV, you pull out your phone and you do something else because you're not interested in watching the ads. It's like, well, how do I get my message out there? And so this has become an interesting avenue because you have people who have audiences who care about them and believe in them and are willing to consume their content. So if you can, you know, work your messaging into that, it can become a little bit interesting. But why don't we've had some kind of formal introductions, but why don't we just kind of go down the panel here and tell us a little bit about how you got started or inspired to do this, and kind of a little bit of the journey to where you are today in a few minutes. Tania.
Okay. Oh, good. Mic's on. So the story of how I got started, it's a very real story, and no BS with it.
But I found it's a very structured system, and I have to send them the copy to my ad in advance, and they will change it and add more of their stiff, really formal corporate messaging into it, which completely takes away from the creativity that I put into it in the first place. And so that was just a little bit disappointing to me because I was doing something. The people who follow along noticed that. I've gotten several comments from people being like, oh, it didn't really sound like you. And I'm like, well, yeah, because it wasn't really me. That's what they sent back to me in terms of copy. But
Okay. Whirlwind of an afternoon. Now we're off to the clinic. Windy outside, so we're gonna talk right here. Took a lot actually from that panel today. It was really good and honestly really refreshing of how honest they were. You don't see that too much in social media. We see all the easy route, all the quick fixes, everything like that. We don't see too much of the honest, like, here's what I did, here's the work that I put in, and it was really great that they shared the great side of how they become influencers, but also like the pure bad partnerships they got into and how to avoid that. So it was really good. I'll include more of my thoughts tonight. Right now I'm just off to the clinic, and I think I've got 3 patients to consult with tonight, and we'll talk a little bit more about this influencer panel and sort of my overall thoughts on it. And even you watching, you may not have a big following. I don't have a big following, but if you don't think you're an influencer, you're wrong. We'll talk more on that.
And the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
All right. So it's the next day. Can you guys tell? Maybe a little bit. Come on, autofocus. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I wanted to share, I guess, some of my thoughts from yesterday's influencer marketing panel, which was awesome and quite insightful, and just share, I guess, with you guys who didn't get to attend, my biggest takeaways from it. So one of the things that I guess my biggest takeaway from it is you watching this. Yeah, you're an influencer. So you have 5 followers, so you have 50, so you have 50,000. You're all influencers, whether you think you are or not. So working with brands, a lot of people want to approach brands. For example, Oakley or RYU. I have the driven. Anyway, a lot of people want to approach brands, but they're concerned about the size of their following. They're concerned about if they're actually an influencer. I don't like that word influencer, and I think Justin Rivas explained at the panel that every time he hears or talks about the word influencer, it makes him want to throw up in his mouth, and I kind of agree with that. But an influencer can be anyone, and even if you have a very, very small following, think about what you can provide as value to whoever it is that you're approaching. So if you're reaching out to Respect Your Universe or Oakley, even though you have a small following, maybe, for example, Oakley decides to take a different way. Instead of having someone with a 5 or 10 million follower Instagram following, maybe they now take 25 small influencers, and they may notice that more people buy a specific sunglass. So whether you're small or a big influencer, you're still an influencer. That was a big takeaway from yesterday, and I really appreciate the panel was actually candid. So they talked about good situations working with brands. They also talked about like bad situations, and mostly bad situations came from them promoting or sponsoring a product that they just didn't believe in, or they just didn't really care about or support, and just really weren't fully engaged with. So if they were to get a script, for example, it just wouldn't come off as genuine. So think about that. If you want to start branding yourself and you want to become an influencer, there's a few things that you have to think about. One of the nice things, one of the bloggers that has been, I don't even know, she's been doing it for 10 years or so, very popular blogger, has worked with huge brands like Ford, McDonald's, Tide, and in her case, like, she actually still sends brand request sponsorship emails to brands she wants to work with. And that was really surprising. And in her case, like, a lot of brands reach out to her almost daily. But if there's something that you want to go get, reach out for it. See what value you can provide to them. And you never know. You might have to email them a couple times, or you might have to email a few dozen different brands, but eventually you'll start creating that traction. So I really think that's it. It was a very beneficial panel, and a lot of takeaways for me. And I guess toss in the comments below if anyone has any questions that I can answer on influencers or branding or marketing as well. I'd be happy to provide you with what we're doing, or me, what we're doing is in Driven as well, and see how things work. I think that's it. Let's sign off this upload because, of course, another day, but another meeting I'm late for. I just had to share this and get it off my chest. So if you haven't yet, there's a like button down there. I'd encourage you to hit that if you enjoyed the video. If you did not enjoy that video, hit that thumbs up anyway. and tell me in the comments what I can do better next time, because feedback is always appreciative. And if you're just going to put, I don't know, like, you fucking suck, tell me why I suck, and that's something that I can improve on. So yeah, like, subscribe, and thank you guys for tuning in to this upload. 2018 style, you really can't have enough positivity and optimism, so really fill that cup full of it. And especially if you're reaching out to brands, you gotta be positive and optimistic as fuck. And I think that's where we'll leave today's upload. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again. Bye-bye.